Hello, fair listener. Welcome and thank you for following our journey on metagaming by Rum Propelled Gaming. Fair warning, sometimes we are not safe for work, and others not safe for real life. Journey forth at your own risk. Now let's dive right back into Tarath through the campaign Alilopolis.
Greg.
Fucking Craig.
Lord, the time
The
may
hand
be upon us.
The hand of fate tosses, the dice rolls, spins, turns. A campaign starts and ends, leaving memories that become stories. Stories flow out into the infinite sea, painting it with legends. Legends wash up on the shores throughout the infinite sea, fading to myth until myths are forgotten. And again, the hand of fate tosses, the dice rolls, spins, turns. Hitherto, we left our adventurers known as the Rum Rollers, successfully returned to Socrates, and having delivered the dragon's breath to Queen Fiada, specifically through her business partner, Ferris. On their way to deftly evade, on their way they had to deftly evade some massive tentacles and made friends on the sea with a turtle race run by on three ships and known as the crew of the Gaybook Sun. A night and a day passed during that, with the shadows of the horizon flickering behind as they landed ashore to trade. And that's when they lose. Okay. Back. Skipping around in my notes here. Okay. Upon landing back in Socrates, they found that it was besieged by the PNC, who they'd had a contract with. After meeting with the emissary of the PNC, a vampire who didn't really give his name, but asked for them to make an appearance and made sure that they had already conquered Socrates. Which the Rum Rollers said they have.
For sure.
Okay. At this point, having returned to the ship, Nimue appears with Rarl on the decks of Adune, and Grandam and Kiro promise to sacrifice 10 sacrifices to the PNC, which the vampire requested to be delivered to the lava tower in 2 days' time. After discussing next steps and Rarl presenting to Nimue the wizard formerly known as Matt's corpse, they decided to visit Zenith's altar on the isles just outside of Socrates, so that they can revive him, hopefully in his previous glory. And yeah. Okay. And that's where we left the Rum Rollers. Let's find out what happens this time. You guys did manage to slay 30 of the zombies, too, of the horde that was amassing and besieging the city. But
We could have took them all down. Oh yeah.
there is still easily blocking the road at this time just under 1,000 now. And
We need holy water.
So the city is under
Totally take
siege
him.
by 1,000 zombies? Is that what's happening?
Yep, been under siege for 1,000 or just under 1,000 zombies now because 30 of them have been killed. It's
Noted.
just been
What a dent.
right, and you guys were
Doing so good.
you guys just took a carriage. That's what it was. That's what I didn't take down a note of, I guess. But you guys just took a carriage with Grandam's help, who popped out of existence at this point. As you come to the island of Zenith's altar, connected by one of the many bridges of Socrates, spanning easily 500 plus feet over the water, and landing on this island. I hope you guys can see where I just moved the map.
Yes.
We should ask these guys if they have a bunch of holy water. Oh, that's cool.
Eh,
I didn't realize we were in like Avatar land.
So most of the
Oh,
structures,
Jenny.
and especially those that are supporting everything here throughout, are of a bluish crystalline structure underneath it all. It seems like that's growing out of the rock as you get out of the carriage and take your surroundings in. A hooded figure greets you right at the bottom of the bridge before you even enter the small, almost castle-like structure of these crystalline places, and just says, "Well, Rum Rollers, we've been expecting you."
we thank you. We have urgent matters that need attending.
I would say
Please
very
help.
urgent.
She
The
gestures to this beginning to rot corpse, I assume.
Hello. This is my friend. I hold the corpse up.
that is unfortunate. The lady would
Oh,
see
he-
you post haste, but just know that while you're on the grounds, that we would hope that you. And you see some of the goo leaking out of the body. Keep a cleanly nature about yourselves. The goddess does stand for protection of all things, but especially knowledge. So
Mm.
let us go on our way. And he leads you up they're almost alleys into different parts and sections until you enter through. It almost feels like a side door, but as soon as you walk through the side door, it opens up into an even more grand hallway. It almost feels like, with a almost chapel structure at the end of it, and
Pretty.
a figure standing at what looks like to be an kind of an altar, but in a different form of which, one that's almost looking like a podium too. But the podium isn't turned to face the hallway. It's turned to face out over the sea, with books and other things strewn about the hallway to give you, as well as some things growing that haphazardly in and amongst all of this, off the columns and out through the space, keeping it somewhat fresh, even though it looks like it should be musty.
Cool place. Not my taste.
Very
And,
serene.
The guy that's leading you up to this point says, "The high acolyte will see you now," and bows and turns and walks away. And the figure at the end of the room doesn't turn to meet you. He just seems to be flipping through pages as you standing there reading.
Nemoy
you
heads
reading?
up her skirt a little bit and rushes forward, but stops at the base of the stairs. She does not fully approach him. If he was making noise approaching, she's going to wait to see if he heard her.
You
High
you, you
Acolyte.
you see no reaction as you run up.
And this is clearly the individual that the person who greeted us was referencing would see us. Yes.
There's no one else in the room.
Excuse me, sir.
Hmm.
We've been informed that you could help us with our friend here. He's in dire need of healing.
Huh? What? Huh? He turns over his shoulder. Oh, I didn't hear anyone come in.
She kind of does a tiny little curtsy. And I'm guessing everyone else is kind of back towards the entrance.
Oh no, I would have walked up behind you.
And Matt, the corpse is with us.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And then me in your head says, I don't like churches.
Oh, sorry, but I think it's your only hope here.
No, it's all right.
And she gestures and she's like, "Please tell me, can something be done about this?"
Oh,
She catches a drip before it hits the floor.
You just see him gagging, like, oh god. Oh, I've only read about such stenches in such a long time. I haven't smelled something so potent.
Sorry, he was in a bag.
Yeah, it takes a little getting used to.
Oh yeah.
We apologize. Normally, proper funeral rites would have been done. However,
not
this
dead.
is a.
Well, he is dead, but
However, this seems to be extenuating circumstances.
So the lady has told me. Whew. He's just like holding his nose while he's talking. But
Nimue has her handkerchief wrapped around her hand, catching like little drops before they hit the floor to kind of
I-
contain the mess.
roll a dexterity check for me. But I really appreciate what you're doing there, trying to keep our floor clean.
I mean, we were told not to make a mess.
It looks like you're able to catch the majority of them, and if you do miss one, even it
She steps on it to hide it.
I was just going to say that you're able to wipe it up with the handkerchief. It's not getting
Okay.
overly used at this point yet. And he just still continues to hold his nose and goes, "Well, I'm able to probably okay. So the lady has suggested a particular ritual, but she has informed me that something I didn't know about. It's not in my readings. I wouldn't expect it's in yours. But anyways, the soul, as you might imagine, needs some way to enter the body after it's been repaired.
like up the butt.
That
Yeah, missing eye
unfortunately
socket.
is not an acceptable route. Yeah, the eye socket
We have
is
his
closer,
soul.
but you're going to need eyes themselves that are attached and physically work for the body.
Right. So, like, what if we use the a restoration spell on him that would regrow his eyes? Or like, do we need to go get some?
Um,
And also, are you using yours?
I am currently, yes, very much
Okay.
using mine. They were necessary.
Okay, I had to ask. It's always worth
I-
asking.
Jiro kind of gives Ralston a disdainful eye, like, no,
Oh, sorry.
behave yourself.
It's okay. What if I gave him one of my eyes? I could be a pirate with a cool eye patch.
That
But then you'd be
Good
half as
lord,
effective in
because-
battle.
does raise
Nimue
some
eyes a bowl
questions.
of grapes on a table next to him.
I don't know if you want to use one of your eyes, but that might work. But the reviving or repairing the eyes could potentially work too. But there are some instances, at least that I've read, that the soul doesn't want to enter the body if the eyes aren't
But
properly.
He's here. He wants to.
Oh, that does make things a little bit easier, I guess.
Kind
But
of point at the ring that Nimue is holding.
She
He's right
daintily
there.
holds
He's
out her
just
hand.
chilling. What's going on?
He's here. If you would like to ask him anything, I can relay your request.
That, I mean, as useful as that sounds, I don't know to. Does he know? I guess what sort of position he holds in the universe? You know, like positive, negative, neutral. Those are the main powers that be.
Nimue thinks in her head. Matt?
Yeah.
Like to ask him if he knows.
Like a tarot card reading? I mean, I never really did anything like that, but
He says
I'm
he's
a
never read tarot cards.
I
Whatever
haven't
those
read
might be.
tarot cards either.
I would assume I would be a neutral power.
He claims neutrality.
That is the best one to try and get into a vessel, as they
Tend to be
Splendid.
more attachable. But still would need some sort of eyes. I don't know what you might, if you have contact with him, you might want to ask him what his choice of eyes would be. But the vessel does require eyes.
Like physical eyes, or would like a robot eye work?
We've had
Also, I walk up and I show him like the markings along the side of the tattoo text on his face. I'm pretty sure this gives him some sort of sight, but I don't know if they're like eyeballs.
No, they are not eyeballs. That's the problem.
Wash his face.
I think
Okay.
at least as to how the lady has told me, the Lady Zenith, it is one of the requirements of a vessel to have eyes. It is the entry into the soul. The window. That's the word she used. Window into the soul.
I really know what
And-
to do.
Can they be technological or must they be organic?
I believe they could be technological, but you would have to have some sort of testing phase, and I don't know. I guess I could partake in some of that. It would be rather interesting, honestly. But it might take a little while because
You
we don't
say
have
that.
precedent for that here.
Does it matter where the eyes come from?
And I think only in the essence of whether or not the soul itself would accept it. So, especially because they're neutral, it makes binding other eyes to them easier. But it has to be some sort of physical thing.
Right. Like an actual
When-
eye.
Correct.
Boy.
When
Matt,
you say the soul
you said
accepting
we're on an island, right?
island.
Yes.
Awesome. We're on the edge of a ledge that looks out into the sea, right?
You're inside the of a almost chapel-like that hallway lined with columns that come to an arcing dome, and then the dome that's at the end of the hallway is a bit more of a glassed-in structure that looks out over the bay. But if that helps.
I have an idea. Norelson, keep your friend decent. And Kuro's gonna walk outside.
And muss his face. Okay? I shove him into the bag.
Spreads his wings, and he dives towards the water.
Wonder what he's going to do.
I'm gonna go hunt
Wonder
for
if this
some
means.
eyes.
I could
So-
also do that.
From where you're at least, because you're inside, right? You're out overlooking the bay, but there is glass that is in your way, so you probably wouldn't go to the glass. I wasn't
Oh no
thinking
no
as
no!
much as
Like
that.
he
I figured you
would
would
have
go to
walked
the
back
glass.
out. Yeah, he walked back
Oh, you're.
out,
Oh, I
and
apologize. I
then
missed that in your
yeah,
description. If you were saying that, I was going to say that if you went to the glass, then you were going to probably look at it and go like touching, trying to figure out how to open it, and the acolyte could help. But if you wanted to walk all the way back out,
oh
he,
no,
he,
he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to trouble the high acolyte. He doesn't
he
want to trouble him.
he would see you leaving the room then though, and go,
Do you know where he's
I'll
going?
be right back.
Oh, really?
Well, could you bring me like? Never mind.
What if I got like monster eyes that could see really far or in the darkness? Would he get those abilities?
It's hard to say. Sometimes those things come through, but sometimes they don't.
Right.
It's
Dang.
the eyes are
Let's
very
see.
important to the vessel that holds the soul. As you may know from constructs, it's one of the things that is. You may not, but it is one of the things that stops them from being able to hold souls.
That's fun.
Let's see.
Interesting.
What kind of wildlife do I see? Like just kind of
so you're gonna
cruising
want to
downwards towards
roll me a survival check and a performance
survival.
because of your jump. We're talking about somewhere in the range of like, I wanted to say it was like, I wanted to say it was like 120 feet that you're jumping off the cliff at the top is highest point.
Wings, Matt. I mean wings.
And then I have to go to a Google search.
13 for survival. 13 for survival. What do I find?
I have to find something else first. Because I've jumped off of things that are higher than that. Or not higher than that, but pretty high. Stupid. But I did it. Okay. Google just this then. Holy hail, you guys won't even believe this. My first search was for wind is too high to jump into water, and it just said 10 feet. And I'm like, I know that's wrong. I've jumped off of some things that are higher than that.
Yeah.
And there's divers.
It said wings, right?
Oh, you did.
I guess you would need to look cliff diving.
You did say that. I forgot kind of about the wings, so that would stop your fall a little bit, or at least control it better. And
Well, no, not like jump. No, like opening wings and then flying down, like flying.
Oh, so
Flying.
you're flying over top.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
imagined straight dive. For
Well,
some
I mean,
reason.
like dive in, like I collapse my wings to speed me to the ground faster than opening my wings to continue on forward. But like kind of like in a how a bird kind of like dives down, and then kind of to get them to where they're going faster. That's what I meant. I guess it didn't come off the way I meant for it to be said.
He's
Yeah.
swooping.
No worries. Apparently, the highest dive ever into water that was survived and done on purpose was 192 feet and 11 inches. So basically 193 feet.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I was
Wow.
saying that you guys wouldn't believe. I was like, what? Anyways, so
How?
something's got to be broken. I don't know. I guess.
He had to break something.
Anyways, so that makes it a lot easier. You're seeing school of fish is probably the first thing you're seeing, but the fish are
You
relatively
give me
small.
fish eyes.
Hey! I'm shopping. Give me a moment. Shopping.
As you're kind of circling around and kind of coasting near the coast, you see a Um, it, uh, besides the clams that are evident there, a few starfish that stand out. And every now and again, you catch a glimpse of a flicker of motion that you can only assert to being and see maybe once a octopus.
That'll do. Kiro dives into to hack and slash.
Acrobatics, and it would obviously be
Attack?
a surprise round, and then roll the attack. But I need the acrobatics first to see how you delve into
How
the water.
How graceful am I at this? Let's find out. $13. Hey, I'm hitting right in that middle zone. Sweet tonight.
Yeah, I'd say you're
All right, and
able
then
to
to
break the
attack
surface
you.
without hurting yourself.
All right. $11 to hit him.
Oh.
Oh wait, I get advantage because it's surprise. I forgot.
You do.
Yeah, let's make that 21. 21 sounds nicer.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling it up now.
All right.
Oh yeah, that'll hit. 13 would have hit too.
Oh, nice. And he will take 9 points of slashing damage.
Where even? Oh yeah. So how are you killing the thing?
Basically, you know, flying, looking for that perfect moment where, I'm looking for the big bulbous, point where, as soon as it's going, how like a octopus, like the arms kind of like contracting. As soon as I see the arms come like up, like they're ready, like in preparation to go, I slash in and severing the top, like just about a foot above the eyes. That part just cut clean off.
Okay. And I'm assuming you pick it up with the other hand as you're
Yep.
coming through, and as you do, it starts twining around your arm, and a jet of ink probably spreads across your arm.
The things I do for friends. And he takes the octopus legs and eyes and flies back up to deliver a pair of eyes.
You fly back up to the ledge, you walk in. They've been probably standing there for a goodly time of an awkward
You're like
almost
gyro.
20 minutes.
I would actually love a gyro. I was gonna ask the guy that left if he was gonna get some food when he came back, but
He
I've been
just kinda
standing.
walked out.
Rarl
I'm glad
does.
your appetite remains intact.
No, the guy kind of walked out. Referring to Kira.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what a gyro is, but I could have one.
They take this huge mess of meat and they mush it all up into a big cone and then they put it with the bread and they sell their stuff. It's really good. Don't think they sell it around here.
I was hoping for something because the ladies had me studying for quite some time, and I haven't had a break for a little bit, and I was hoping to get a snack.
I don't know if I have any snacks on me. Hold on. I start going through my pockets, my corpse's pockets. No. Ooh, here we go. This is something called Welch's Fruit Snacks.
Okay. It looks like a bag. I'm guessing there's stuff in it. I'll
Yeah,
take
I
that.
open it. I hand him one.
Why did you steal Welch's fruit snacks?
He's hungry. I point at myself on the floor. He's not eating it.
He takes one of the things and is just like squishing it in his fingers for a second between his finger and his thumb. He holds it up to the light and goes,
Well, I guess you only live once.
and he puts it in his mouth and starts chewing.
That's not true.
It looks like the jellies we ate at the summer house. Is it sweet?
You have a summer house?
That is pretty good. It is.
It is sweet.
And he kind of like takes his hand off his nose finally and goes, Kind of masks some of the other smells too. The more I eat of these, and he puts another one in his mouth. Pretty
Convenient.
potent smell.
Got the red 20 in it. Apparently that's bad for you.
Red 20?
Or red 3. It's like a chemical. I don't know. I have a nosebleed. Wrong campaign.
Colors have numbers?
Yeah, 3 of them. 3 sets.
3 numbers per color.
Anyway, be cool if we got some sort of like powers from this thing, right? Like a vampire eyes. If he got the vampire eyes, would he turn into a vampire? Or would his eyes just be vampires?
That's
Would they feed off of his blood?
again. This is really hard to say. There's not a lot of research been done on these topics.
I
that
call
I've
my sister. Write this down.
access to.
Open research laboratory into replacing people's eyes.
Because in general, too, most people tend to keep their eyes, and if they don't have them, they're dead. And if they're dead, they're not coming back to life, or they're not really using their eyes. So you kind of get my point here.
Yeah, but like think about it. If there's a bunch of, say, there's a race of creatures that has dark vision, like Tabaxi, I point at myself, and they die, right? Their organs could be harvested for a small fee after death, and then those eyes could be transplanted into the eyes of, say, like a regular human, like a sucker, and then we sell the eyes to him for the chance so that he can have dark vision permanently
He gets
and
like a
have cool cat
horrified
eyes.
look on his face when you're
I'll write
talking.
that down. How much do you think that would be worth?
The lady
There'd be consent all the way around.
assures me currently that this is not sacrilege somehow, but I think some people might disagree with you.
It's all about consent, man.
I guess so. I don't know how you
Kira
get the
walks
consent
in.
of somebody that's not using their eyes, but anyways, so yeah, Kira
No,
walks in
the
at this
prior
point.
consent. Like, you sign a paper with us that says after you die, we get your organs, and then your family gets X amount of money.
I don't know.
It's like
That
a
sounds
pension.
awfully necromancy cult of you.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with necromancy. It's about the person who uses the power, right?
And we
That's
were
when
saying
Kira-
that why as Kira walks in.
No ways why.
Oh, hey, man.
Necromancy in all of its forms are bad.
Nimue what?
Put away a
Wide-eyed.
sketch of a necromancy-based industrial factory. Yeah. The world is not ready for you yet.
Not as
yet,
long as
comrades.
Kiro's above. Not as long as Kiro's above the ground.
Here's the thing, I don't know why. Like, if you consent to it and you sell your skeleton after death, so that your ancestors get the stipend of your work, and then you forever work in the factory. Who gets harmed?
The cycle of life.
I don't have the answers to your moral quandaries, but I
okay.
do have. He puts another fruit snack in his mouth. The answer to this situation,
Oh,
if
cool.
these eyes are acceptable, and he points to what I'm assuming is Kiro still holding in one hand the twining, still writhing octopus arms and eyes.
While you harvest the eyes, I will make sushi.
Sashimi. Ooh. What do actual octopus eyes look like?
Very
I turn to Nimue and I just say, "Tell him we got some eyes for him, but don't tell him what they are."
I'm
It seems some eyes have been procured.
I'm sorry.
What are your,
Go ahead.
what were you imagining is in the realm of acceptability?
I mean, here's the thing. Anything that doesn't let me die is acceptable. Right? Death is the only unacceptable thing in this world is death. That's the only thing I will not accept.
Okay, he says as long as they function, they are acceptable. Does this please the group?
And he kind of looks up and off, almost like over his shoulder, it looks like. And then he breathes out and goes, I think that's pleased someone, because the lady has said that might work in some of the rules of what she has to work in, but the only other things you're going to need are some very pricey things. But I assumed you came with those in mind, knowing this beforehand.
Well, we came here right after a war zone. We have to go shopping. But if you will let me say I already did, I'll spend money.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I think you're going to need a at least we're talking about Revivify, right?
Yeah.
A diamond of 300 gold pieces.
Oh, we have diamonds on board, we had diamonds on board, didn't we?
You guys have the astral diamonds, but I don't know about picking up any other diamonds. That was the other
Yeah.
campaign. Ash
I
has
mean,
like a whole slew of.
We were
gems.
able to use the astral diamonds. Can I use one now, just so we don't have to go back and forth?
And sorry, I'm guessing Raul takes out one of the astral diamonds and asks, "Can we use this?"
I'll pull one out. Yeah, here's a diamond. It's a little weird. It shifts into reality, but that's fun.
That could work. Holding up the piece that you are,
Feels more fitting, actually.
and he goes, "The only thing," and he looks over his shoulder again, "that I'm hearing is that
I look over his shoulder. I
there's
take a
nothing
mask out of my pocket that I've been hiding since Eurythmic, and I put it on, and I look over his shoulder.
You see a being that stands the whole height of the room. But
Point at her, I fucking see you.
And she
Hello.
just shrugs her shoulders and keeps talking to him in a voice that you can't hear apparently. And
Who is seeing this?
Raro.
Okay.
I have taken a mask out of my pocket that I took from Franklin during Eurythmic, and I put it on, and it's a mask of true sight.
Okay.
Wait,
And I
is this
take
a
it off,
spirit?
and
Is this a spirit?
You don't see. No, it's not a spirit. To answer your question, technically. Anyways, yeah. So he looks back over to you guys after looking over his shoulder and goes, Wait. Sorry, I was interpreting. What was the question again?
Use this diamond.
Oh, yes, right. So she'd said, yes, but you're going to need some more than just that one. I
Take it
think
a
she
bag.
said 10
I
was
take
the
10
minimum.
of them out. Minimum, is there like a maximum? Is there a better chance if there's more?
He looks kind of like off to the one side and yeah, and then she just goes, or you hear him rather go, she says that the more that you can provide, the higher the chance, yes. But again,
Or like a
this is
point of
pretty.
diminishing returns? I read it in a for-profit book.
Well, that depends upon the vessel, he just says on his own there, to some degree. And that's where I was just about to say, I think we're going to need to at least repair some of the damages that have been done to it as well.
Oh yeah. So, wait.
So, if that can be done, I could have the capabilities, but the church does, well, rather the acolytes and everybody do require a fee to be paid as well for our services. And I assumed, the ultimate service would be the culmination of the other things. So I don't know if you already have your own magics prepared to repair the body so that we don't have to charge you another fee. It's to go towards our studies and the preservation of knowledge.
My
But
apologies,
What kind
High
of fee?
Acolyte.
Go ahead.
My apologies, High Abbot. My expertise is keeping bodies in the ground.
respectably so. The fee, and he kind of looks back over his shoulder a little bit, but just nods and says, "Yeah, so it's pretty much, at least for the other one, it's a standard fee, um, of repairing any wounds. We don't charge a very high price for something like that. You can imagine,
Mhm.
of like a silver, just for the time that's involved with the ritual, and
Okay. Great. Let's do that.
but that's just the repairing of the body, as I said.
Sure.
The bringing of the soul back into the body and repairing it as a whole, as I've already stated, for the ritual itself is required the 10 astral diamonds that we've already talked about, but the actual price for us to perform that work is going to take us a sizable amount of time.
Is it
It-
because you need the spell cast? I hold up a ring. I've got a spell of revivify in this ring.
Oh, if you have a spell of revivify,
Yeah.
that
Pat
is
put it in there for me, or Mime
that
did.
that is useful. Um, minute.
Got the minute.
No. It says you touch a creature that has died within the last minute.
I have cast Franklin had cast gentle repose on the corpse, which extends it by 10 days.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you. That creature.
Don't worry, I planned it out already.
Yeah. Honestly, that would solve some things. The only so would the only question here be the price of the silver for repairing the body?
The price of the silver to repair the body, and then the price for you guys to do the spell because I am not a cleric. I have this spell in this ring, but
Oh.
anyone can cast it. It's just you guys are, like this is the shit. You do this shit.
Okay. I see where you're at now. I misinterpreted some of what the lady's already told me, I guess. Anyhow.
She should learn sign language. You
uh,
could interact with other people, I'd say to her.
and she just shakes her head at you, and he giggles at an unspoken joke that you can see her mouthing over his shoulder. He doesn't voice, and he just goes on to say, "Well, the normal going rate for something of a revivify is it, especially because we have to ritual cast it amongst a few of us. It would probably be in the realm of 100 gold. We don't want to be too,
No, man, I'm fine with that.
but we have to pay for the resources for those folks and to keep
Sure.
everyone. And but
Yeah. Hey,
besides
listen,
that,
I get it. There are children out there with bone cancer. Like, I look at the lady. Why? And then I turn back to him. So you need funding to fight that because it's bullshit that exists. I look at her again.
And to make this more appealable to you, because we are going against the natural balance, we will pay an additional 100 for your troubles.
that would be excellent for the church. Or rather, we're not really much of a church. I've said that maybe once or twice, but it's much more of a college here.
That's a way better term. I don't know why, but I feel better about that.
And well,
Let's do it.
the college will need at least 10 days to perform the ceremony. After the repairing of the body, the repairing of the eyes, and yes, making sure that there aren't any inconsistencies with the pairing of the body and the eyes.
Sure. I mean, if it's 10 days,
and the soul. Right. You said you had the soul, so that does make things a little bit easier. And then he kind of looks like he's staring off into a direction and does some more calculations. I think I could bring it down to 8 days since you already have the soul, because at least 2 of the days we're just tracking down the soul in the beyond.
How much time do we have left on this body?
Okay. Oh.
With the 10-day counter?
10-day counter? I don't know, but they could probably recast the spell.
Oh.
Should we just do that at the 5-day mark?
That's fine with me. But just to be clear, you guys know that there's an army outside, right?
Yeah, we're aware of that. We just plan to up and move. We're not very tied to this exact location.
Oh. That's fun. So I'd be fine with that, I suppose. Should probably tell him that, but it's not my choice.
Do you need us to leave the soul here for an extended period of time, or can we
I
arrive
don't
with the
trust-
soul when it's to be used?
I would insist on staying with him.
We do need the soul and the body to be in or together for at least 2 days, with the eyes obviously already. This is the whole reason the whole process takes a little bit here, is the situation you've got going on. We've got to prepare the body, got to put the eyes in, make sure they don't get rejected, and then once all that's together, the soul's already here at least, but then we can put the soul in the body and slowly make sure that they are functioning together as well.
Will you permit one of us to stay with the soul? I wouldn't want to leave it alone.
I
They
guess.
only need it at the last 2 days, so we can have him until then, and then hopefully things calm down.
She asks Matt how he feels about that, not being able to talk to anyone for 2 days and being alone.
Well, at the start of COVID, I spent 63 weeks in my apartment alone. You won't get that reference, but I'm fine with that. I would
you have
only
your
suggest
economy,
that
you have your body. You're going to be a ring, unable to do anything about any situation you may find yourself in. Nimue is very nervous about leaving a ring containing a soul by itself to be handled.
Oh, I mean-
however, and, yeah.
well, at that, Rural steps forward and be like, "Well, I'm saying once the ring needs to be here for those 2 days, I will stay with it.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'll watch it. He won't be able to interact with me because it'll probably be like on the corpse, but you
Mhm.
know,
What's my mind?
I also will not let him out of my sight.
Mhm.
He's a very valuable resource, and he signed a
I would say so.
contract.
I would hate to see a wayward soul not be tended. So I
Let
will
me prove
join
that.
you, Rollerson.
Cool. That'll be fun. We can get snacks.
But I have snacks, and he raises the rest of the tentacles in his hands.
Does look good. Wait. Oh yeah. Before we go, Mr. Person, if we were to find another pair of eyes that were more better, when would those need to be here? Because octopus eyes are great and all, but if we happen to run across like, I don't know, someone who wants to sell their eyes.
Well,
No.
honestly, the largest
Legally.
portion of this is going to be figuring out to make sure that those eyes are compatible. If we don't find that they are,
Mhm.
I promise for the additional 100 gold that has already been promised that we can find something laying around.
Jeez, that's nice. Okay, but like, at what point in the process do you start using the eyes? Because like, maybe I'll just come back with like a bucket full just to be sure.
After the first day and night, the body should be showing signs of complete healing, and on that second day is when we planned to start with the eyes. So,
Perfect.
as I said, that it was going to be the largest portion.
Turn to Kiro. That lines up perfectly when the ceasefire ends. So here's my plan. Ceasefire ends, we go in stealth style, take out the boss, right, who's a vampire, steal his eyes, put the eyes in him, and then I impersonate the vampire, then we take over and we sail everyone away. And then we kill them.
I don't see too big a problem.
That's my plan.
I mean, making the PNC disappear also makes me happy.
Turn it anyway. Want to kill a bunch of people?
Really
Well,
bad
here's the
people.
thing. We have to talk to the queen. Because right now they think that we own the city. So, like, we could pretend we own it and then they could sail away politically. Right? And then we hit them.
We're not hearing you if you're talking.
Me?
No, you addressed Nimue, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear my name, so I didn't realize I was being talked to. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Boy, that's a great question.
You'd asked if if she was ready to kill a bunch of people for a better
yeah.
cause.
What did these people do to us?
Really
So
bad
they
thing.
are. So they're a professional cult of necromancers, apparently from hell. I turn and look at the lady over the guy's shoulder.
And what have they done
She
to upset the
nods.
local populace?
Point at her. Fucking acknowledge me. You know I can see you. Sorry, what was that?
What have they done to upset the local populace?
I'm pretty sure they're the cause of like this entire island losing their ability to cast magic and like they're dying, I think. Right?
Oh. I
What?
mean, I can attempt to assist, but I don't have much combat experience.
Isn't that what's going on?
Oh, you're.
Socrates is losing its magic because there's something in the water that's attacking them.
You see the lady shaking her head and talking furiously to the High Acolyte, and he goes, "Oh no, you're talking about the mana thieves. So we've been dubbing them from under the ocean. We haven't got a proper name from them. We actually haven't got that much information from them. Even the lady herself, she's quite adamant that that should be your next task. Although vanquishing the PNC, she understands, or at least nullifying them in some regards, is pretty pertinent, as well as you've currently solved the issue with the dragon's breath being able to be delivered, but not the root problem of what's going on with those mana thieves.
So the
Well,
necromancers
hey, if you
don't
want
have to
to-
do with the lack of magic, but do they have to do with the siege upon the town?
Oh yes,
I see. I mean, I'm willing to help. I don't think I will be of much help. But seeing as all of you are my only chance of getting home, particularly Matt here. She glances at the decaying corpse. I mean, your goal is my goal.
All right. And just to verify, our goal is not necessarily, and I point at the lady over his shoulder, her goal. Our goal is our goal, right?
Whose goal?
Our goal is
Who-
not her goal. I put the
Whose
mask
goal?
on your face. Look.
She slowly tilts her chin up.
you see a beatific, ebony-skinned, dreadlocked, gold and black-robed individual waving.
How far away?
Just behind the High Acolyte, so standing in the apst, the structure that you guys are that are looking out over there, but
Nimue slowly walks forward and reaches a hand up. As in, she can't shake her hand because her hand is too big, but just to like make physical contact to see if she'll reach down.
you see her like with an eyebrow corked and her mouth moving as in forming words, and the High Acolyte says, she knows that you can see her with that mask, but I can't see her, and she can't make physical contact. She also wants you to know that her time here is limited. She has many other tasks to be about, and even just this one limited form that she's been sharing with me is nearing its time.
Oh,
Matt
then by all
speaks
means.
into
And
your
she,
mind a minute.
Mhm.
Knowing that like I'm in your head and I kind of like am experiencing a little bit of like a reactionary like you reacting to seeing a god.
Mhm.
I just in your head I say this is an excellent opportunity. Before she goes, can you ask her something? Ask her if she's aware and participates in the bi-yearly kidnapping of thousands of people to fight to the death for their entertainment.
I only have one question. I've been asked to ask her if she participates in the yearly collection, or some might say kidnapping, of souls to contribute in a competition to the death?
You see her talking again, and the acolyte forms words that he's somewhat unfamiliar with, and you can tell just because of the way he stumbles, but he goes, I think you might be referring to the... He looks up and mouths it first, and then slowly says, the eurythmic veracity? That happens apparently in time with another world's and ours
They force us
timing.
to kill each other.
And she's aware of it
She's aware.
because it does interact with ours, and she has all knowledge that happens on this world, unless it is being obstructed by another god on this world.
Is this someone you want to befriend?
But
This is all in your head.
she unfortunately does, or maybe fortunately, I'm not real sure what answer you're looking for, but she does not partake in them per usual.
In my world, we have a police force that protects their own. There are bad members in it, and all it takes is one bad apple. And any god that doesn't stand against these atrocities is also bad. And then
Does she
I
support
kind of
these
fade in
games?
their mind.
She doesn't really quite support them, as to what she's telling me. More so, she does support the link between the worlds, is the main reason she hasn't fought for it. Or against it, rather, I guess. But it's more so because she wants the knowledges of these other worlds, and she's quite happy Matt's, the wizard formerly known as Matt, I guess, is here because she has access to far more knowledge with him here.
Is she saying that these links, or this link, is dependent on these games continuing?
Seems to be. Yeah, she says yes.
I'm relaying
Sorry.
all this to Matt.
Interesting. It's a blood ritual then. They use our suffering and our blood to connect the worlds. It must be.
He's asking if it's a blood ritual.
Blood for the blood gods.
As contrite as that might be, he seems to be translating almost verbatim at this point, and going on to say that doesn't seem to be the case. It has more to do with the timing placed in ours and their world, and the space in between, as well as some of the other interactions with the original creations of our two worlds.
Mm-hmm. Nothing about that says they must have us fight. I don't think we should push this anymore, but we shouldn't trust them. They know what's going on.
She seems to have
Trying to be a malicious little voice in your head.
Heard you, even though you don't say anything, threw Nimue this time, and just you feel, or you kind of see the High Acolyte grab his head for a second, and her glow a little bit brighter through the mask, Nimue, and you hear in your head, as well as you feel in your being, wherever you reside, in that essence of the ring,
fiery eye.
No, a single utterance that is, it must not be, but if you want it to change, you will have to do it yourself. And she winks out.
I fucking plan on it.
And the High Acolyte slumps against the podium. Well, that was
Nimue rushes
exhausting.
forward to help him up.
You try to like help him, and he's just like, I'm just gonna rest here for a while.
If you insist. Is Nimue aware that Matt also heard the voice?
You have a suspicion at least because the voice was in your head, and it was
Yeah.
a bit more of a feminine voice, so it's
Mm-hmm.
and it was definitely not a Dune.
Are we aware of the name of this goddess? I didn't catch it.
Zenith.
Zenith. Okay.
Zenith. Yep.
So it appears our time with Zenith is done. I don't see her anymore. And she hands the mask back to Kiro, was it, that had the mask?
I have it. Rarl. Who then tucks it
Oh,
in,
it was
into the corpse's pocket. So I don't forget. He's going to need it. Where
You're
he's
still
still-
okay with us taking the corpse currently, right? Though.
Oh shit, that's right. Yes, but you have to sign a contract that says you won't purposely damage him.
We can
I assume
have,
that's what happens when we pay you, but
well, you can have a. We can say that and handshake under the altar here. Anything that is said while touching the altar has to come true. It is like a verbal contract.
sure.
Okay.
Magic verbal contract.
As much as we like our
How
paper
much do you
here.
sell these for?
Oh.
Could they be more compact? Does the other person have to know about it?
It has to be very simple in the meaning, and yes, the other person has to know about it and consent to it. Hence the handshake, and he puts one hand on the altar and puts one hand out to shake.
I turn to Ural, take notes, and I do it as well.
And he shakes with the intent to not harm or take anything from the body. And you feel a kind of cold chill rush across you.
And not to move and not take it where I don't know where it is or can get to it.
You say that as it's finishing out, and he's finishing shaking your hand, and he just goes, "Well, it's only going to be here. We might move it over to some of the side altars, though, because the stench is
That's fine.
pretty bad. Even once we've finished repairing the body, I'm sure it won't be pleasant for some of those that come to see without the eyes." And then, of course, and he looks over at the octopus eyes that I'm assuming is still attached to the rest of the octopus, because you haven't said one way or the other, Kiro, that you've. I know you were presenting them, but I didn't know if you'd taken them out of the octopus. Anyways,
We'll figure it out.
you're muted if you were talking, but he just
no, he didn't want to risk damaging the eyes, so he left them in and gonna hand him that.
Okay, thank you. And the tentacles wrap around his arm, and he's like, well, I'll figure this out, I guess. But yeah, I'll just probably, and he points over to like one of the other abs at the end of the hallway here that he's standing at, and draw a curtain across over there. That just seems appropriate. But yeah, I'll be. Oh, I guess there is one last thing, and he goes over to the book he'd been reading, picks up from like inside of it almost. There's like a little recess spot. He pulls out a piece of paper. It looks like the size of the cards that have been used around Socrates, and he hands it
Oh, nice.
out to Kiro because he was the one that handed him the octopus, and goes, "Yeah, just let me know when." Oh, actually, this isn't just for you to contact me, but I can contact you through this one. It's a two-way here, and I can let you know if it's ready sooner than 8 days. But yes, otherwise expect to be back here in 8 days.
Perfect.
If there's nothing else that you have with my time, it's been like a bit of research to figure out some of the things that the lady was, and those fruit snacks, I think you called them,
Yeah,
were
pretty good, right?
yeah, but not filling. I do need something more
I feel like
substantial.
I'd eaten so many of them, like too many, you know?
So if there's nothing else, I will be seeing you.
Have a good one, man.
Good days, we won't be late.
At this point, too, it's getting later on in the evening because you guys landed earlier in the morning, met with the queen, ran out, took out some 30-some zombies, and came back, went back over here. So it's probably actually sunset while you're finishing those things up. Some of the
I could
nightlife
use
in
a
the
bite to
city
eat, too.
is opening up.
Think that could be a place to call it for the night.
Think so.
Unless you wanted to get your shopping done.
Well, so I had a question. Well, number one, I assume Nimue wants to research a little bit. Pricing is kind of difficult to know, like what you're generally looking for. So, Josh, I know you want to price things out specifically, but with 10,000 gold, what is the average amount of price like item that could be gotten with a 10,000 gold? I don't remember what you did last time, but that would probably be easier.
Average amount of price thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know how like there's by rarity.
Yeah. Okay, so you're
Essentially,
looking for
we have $10,000. Who knows what you price things at? Is Nimue gonna spend the week looking at rare and legendary items when they're in the 100,000 range?
so
Or
very rare items are in the 5 to 10K. Rare are 1,000 to 2,500 ish range, and these are just general ranges. I can
Alright, never before in D&D have I gotten to go shopping. Normally,
yeah.
it's just like you start with your standard starter item, and then
shopping.
maybe you pick up like a scroll of something. So this is a completely new experience. I have
Well,
no
Yeah.
clue where to
shop.
start.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I what I would do if I was you, and I don't know if you've got like an idea of like the mechanics of your class, but I would try to find items that are like decent for whatever class you're playing. If
Mhm.
you're assuming you're new enough to the point where you're trying to figure out how to choose an item. So
I'm still level
what's
1,
your
so
yeah, but what are you gonna play as?
I'm a druid.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Very
let's
cool
see,
staff, right? They use stabs.
druid. So I would just look up best items for druid and then see if any of them fit your vibe, like abilities, spells, if you're like melee or ranged, all that kind of crap.
Okay. Yeah, the best item I've ever had in D&D is like a basic weapon +1.
Oh,
Mm.
That's the best
That's
item I've
fun.
ever had.
that
Oh
is
no.
that's not going to be the case if you continue playing alongside us. My main characters are generally artificers for a reason.
I played a
Can't be
game
crazy
once
with
where I
items.
played an. They can craft magic wands.
Yeah. Mhm.
And there's a lot of spells, level 1 spells that have like a duration.
Uh-huh.
Like that doesn't include concentration.
Oh, okay.
So if you're an artificer and you spend your money in downtime crafting wands, you could have before a battle cast like jump or a long strider, and you could have a whole series of like one-off spells that you give yourselves little buffs.
I've only played an artificer once, and it was for I don't know if it was a homebrew or just like a side type campaign, but I think we only had like 2 sessions before the group fell apart.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
not the best time to be playing one either because
Yeah.
they take a long time to pop off.
hmm Yeah, we were only like level 3 or something. Maybe it was level 7. I don't know. It was the other character I have here.
It also really depends on like how the DM does long rests and like downtime, because like crafting a wand supposedly in the game takes X amount of hours or days, but if you're running in a game where you're long resting 8 hours and the entire 6 month span of the game has been 2 weeks, then that ability kind of like decreases in value.
Yeah.
Truth. Yeah. I would change things if we had people that were playing like that too. So that's where my thing is, and I was just about to say too, because we were just talking about it, that you guys would probably then choose at this point to go back to the ship, Aduna as being the place that you have to long rest at this point.
Yeah, we're like chatting about like what to buy, like what we need.
Performing
The
any
fact
of
that we
those
have to go talk to the queen desperately.
background tasks that you might want.
We need to
Reading.
get the Dune restocked.
Yep.
I'm always asking what's for dinner and who cooks.
Yep. We need to make a plan about how to make the best of this next assault. All that crap.
I think when you do go back to Adune, though, you would find a runner there, somebody that seems to be of a messenger sort, and goes, "Oh, Ferris had a bit more than just what he could send through the card to you there, Varl. He wanted me to tell you first and foremost if you, or rather ask, I guess, if you'd be interested on a side business about your harness. He noticed it the last time you were here, I guess, and he told me that he was looking for something of that nature to help in his researches, along with protecting from falls that happen from his flying machines."
Oh, yeah, we could totally do that. I've got this idea where you take a big sheet and you tie it to someone's back with string.
Oh.
And they'll be huge. Start chatting with him about that. Also, you have to sign this non-disclosure form because I told you that.
I guess I could do that, and he just signs it and goes. Well, Ferris then could talk business with you in his office. You just have to reach out to him for an appointment with his card there that you apparently already have. And then the other thing was, with the extra breaths and everything, he's been working night and day to figure out, the proper separation of the breath
properties
for the antidotes.
Yep.
And he's slowly getting the first ones out. And the queen wanted me, actually through Ferris, to give you this, and he holds out a bag. This should receive your interest on all of the antidotes that are distributed Generally, the accounts will be finished at the end of the day. So, and he looks up as the sun's setting. You should have the first set of antidotes 1% that was requested in this bag here.
Perfect. That's excellent, my friend. Wait, I look at the bag and narrow my eyes. You're telling me someone puts money into a bag somewhere else and it appears in this bag?
Yes.
I want one of these bag sets. 2.
Oh. Sure.
3.
That can be done too. We have Ferris is quite industrious in some of his creations, and that has been one of his original creations. So it is quite prolific in Socrates. I could get you quite a few. You just have to tell me how much you want, and I can give you the price individually.
That's amazing. Wait, why does shipping even work? Why is shipping even I'm not going to say anything. And I walk away.
Well, the issue
I get
there you
really
have
excited. All of my hair is on end.
is that
Revolution. Sorry, what?
each of the bags have to be in the exact location of what the item is that's going from one place to the other first, and secondly, there are limits to the bag itself. Usually, it's what can fit into the mouth of it, and you open the drawstring. When you looked at the bag, the drawstring mouth is probably only about like 6 inches wide, because it doesn't. If it opens more than that, it just stops working.
Okay. There are limitations, but guess what? We can use this. Because think about it. What happens, my friend, if you put one bag and I hold the bag upside down and I put another bag on top of it and I put their tops together and I say, what happens then?
What?
You have 2 bags, 2 sets of bags. You put an item in one and then it goes through to the next one. But the next one is directly emptying into another one. Where does that one go? You can create a mnemonic tube system with a pre-stationed locations and some sort of contraption to like switch them back and forth so that you can very quickly send small capsules with messages or like sentimental items or something like that.
He's just scratching his head, going, I'm sure Ferris will
I
understand you.
take out another NDA. Sign this.
Don't worry, I don't even know how to tell people about this,
Look at the
but he
others.
signs it anyways.
Double thumbs up. Okay, perfect. God. First we were a pharmaceutical company, and now we're going to be a news company.
So are we on our way back to the ship?
You guys were actually at the ship, is what I was
okay.
describing there.
Okay.
At the dock, you're standing
Okay.
before you went up to Adune, and there was a person waiting for you there.
I see,
That is talking with Rarl. Adune greets you guys though as you came within range before you were even at the docks. Hello.
Hello, dear. Are the others still in the cum closet?
I think so. No one else is on my deck, so
Oh, it's the cum closet. It's the one that you come out of when you like wake up and like are born again on the Dune.
Oh,
It's where you come out of.
okay. That's better.
Don't use a black light in there. Anyway.
So who cooks?
I go off the doodle.
I
Dune.
cook,
Anyways,
dearie.
What's for dinner?
Well, I think you had tasked Ferris with getting goods, but I don't think he's been back yet. That was his runner, though. I think I'm guessing And then as she's talking to you and you guys are standing there, another dock worker comes up and goes to, you guys the rum rollers?
Yeah. Unless
Oh.
unless it's about the lawsuit.
Well, not today. I was actually, and he's talking to you and like takes his hand over his shoulder and does the like come here gesture to people that are standing at the end of the dock. It looks like, and they carry a couple crates up, and he goes, "I was able to procure some provisions for your ship on orders from Ferris."
Perfect.
Wonderful.
He didn't
Dune, how
quite
do you want them?
say what exactly he wanted, so they were just kind of your basic breads and cheese and meats that will all heavily salted or preserved in some way.
Great.
I did throw in a barrel of dried fruits from the region too. For the price he was paying, it was pretty reasonable. And should we take them on deck for you?
Yes, please.
So kind.
Could you send down the gangplank?
And Adune, could you lower the gangplank, please?
Kiro. And then as you guys are saying that, you see arms come up off the deck and lift this more than just a plank. It's kind of this whole gangway, at least 3 people wide, enough to get provisions up easily with the arms, and just lowers it down to the deck to the dock. And
Like arms coming off the ship?
yep.
Oh. Do they look like
And
tree arms? Do they look like human arms? What do they look like?
they look like human arms in some fashion, although they probably are very wooden in their movement and shape.
Fascinating.
And the gangway settles, and the dock workers look over at you like, "What the fuck?" Okay. Anyways, and
Be impressed. Rum rollers, come work for us. Good to pay. No unions.
Is that what Raul says?
Percent.
Goes, well, I've got a pretty much prior contract here for the docks, but I have heard tale that Ferris is working on an air dock. So
Yeah, we're gonna have one of our own too. It's gonna be great.
I think that's your dock that I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna be bigger than the other dock, the biggest dock,
Oh,
the bigliest.
okay. That's great news. I'm
It'll be
sure
the greatest dock
Socrates
that anyone ever seen.
will benefit
They're
from
gonna
that.
say, "What a gorgeous dock! So tall, magnificent."
He's just like standing there awkwardly, like, okay.
Give him a business card. Come work for us. Slap him on the shoulder. Walk away.
Adune, you can hear I started opening some of the crates and trying to inventory what's being brought on board, and she goes, "Well, with this, I could probably make an okay sandwich. That's about it."
Oh.
It's alright for it now. We can get more later. More exotics.
Can we open up some of that dried fruit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's the barrel of it here. I'm assuming you guys have walked up on deck at this point too. And she just gestures with her arms, and then she goes, "Oh wait, 1 second," and forms her wooden body that you've seen her use before too. So, at least Matt and Kyoto have, I believe.
Yeah.
Like a human body made of wood that can walk around independently.
Yep,
Is it connected to the ship when it walks?
constantly.
Cool. What does she look like? Like what form does she choose? Other than human.
She is feminine in shape. She doesn't really have more defined features than just evidently
Like generic
female.
mannequin. Okay.
Yeah, basically generic wooden mannequin. That's a
Okay,
good
so no like
description. I like that.
hairstyle or clothing style.
No clothing, honestly, at all. Really, it seems to be on her. Her hair is a bit more defined, but it seems to be just kind of long and flowing down her back, but kind of kept off to the side in the fronts with no bangs.
And she's opening up the barrels.
She gestured at the one of the
Uh-huh.
or a barrel that was brought up on there, and goes, "I can open it if you like. I think there was smells of dried apples and pears and the like. It's nothing, kind of some
Wonderful.
other spices that may have used, but I'm not sure."
Nimue kind of shuffles forward and like yes, I'd very much appreciate it if you could help me open this.
Absolutely.
So when it's open, Nimue is kind of like looking around, seeing if there's any berries, specifically raspberries, is what she's looking for.
You probably see some smaller berries that resemble the raspberry.
Okay, she's gonna pop one of those in her mouth.
You grab one and you pop it in your mouth, and you taste actually, surprisingly, a berry that you've had before, but can't quite put your finger on. But it's not a raspberry as you were expecting, at least to what your senses are telling you, because it's sweeter and slightly less seedier.
Okay. What color is it?
Oh, purplish.
Okay. Well, even though she's a little bit disappointed by the cold sandwiches, she's happy to have the little dried treats. So she kind of makes herself content with what food is available. And she hasn't eaten all day, so she'll take anything at this point. Though it is not the cuisine she is used to.
It's okay. We'll be rich soon, and then we'll have a palace.
I would have spent some of the gold you left me with too to get better provisions, but just didn't know how much the dock workers would respond to my form first and foremost, let alone my requests for finer things.
Oh, and by no means is Nimue ungrateful. She's just unaccustomed to these types
She
of
doesn't
food.
seem to be responding
Yeah.
to like your mood or anything like that. She just
Okay.
says it out of nowhere. It seems like.
Doc and I turn and say, Adune, you should not be ashamed of who you are. You are unique and beautiful. If they can't accept you for that, fuck them. I'll kill them all for you. But you deserve to walk in the sunlight. You deserve to go to the parks and see the art and all the things. You're a person.
She
I'd
like
say you're a marvel.
puts her
Right?
hand over her mouth, and if you could imagine that she's probably blushing at your statement, even though she can't, and just says,
Don't worry.
"Well,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure that does sound lovely, but I meant more so that I don't know if they would let me into their minds to even ask the question. It is a very rather unique situation."
We need to get you the ability to speak. That's the next great task for us once you can fly.
Oh,
You can see, you can fly. Next, you can see things. And then we'll
Oh.
get you like a magic set of hands where you can already interact with things.
That does remind me, the runner from earlier, he did let me into his mind because he was aware of the situation already, I guess, and
Oh.
had inquired if I was ready to begin my transformation with Ferris, which he seemed to think would take only a few days. But
We should do it. When the captain
I
comes
wanted to
back, you'll
make
be
sure
ready.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't needed for anything else before I took my leave to begin my transformation.
Don't think so. We're going to be here for the next few days at least until the ceasefire ends, and then hopefully, if you can fly by then, we'll have another option for escape. And I will leave with my siblings with you to guard you, to make sure that nothing happens to you while you are in your vulnerable state.
Hats off. That was, she said, a few, which more or less three, and then you to begin her process, and then you've got that was probably the first day already of the ceasefire is over, so you've got one more day.
Got it.
Just frame of reference. Hats off.
We're probably going to end up needing her. Shit. Well, what do you guys think?
If my transformation ends while you are off, I could probably meet you if we gave me a designated location that I could find my way to, because I have eyes now, thanks to you.
Yeah, you do. We don't know where we're going to be in a few days. That's the problem.
Oh, I thought I'd heard tale of the lava tower when you were last on my decks.
I don't remember. That was yesterday. If that's true, then that's great, but how do we get there? Well, I suppose we could fly. How far away is it?
I think you guys have a map that you've been referencing.
The maps. I can read the map. I have this power. Map. City. Map of Socrates. No. Shantar's Island. No. Tarth Globe.
Yep. And at that point, too, Nimue, you're probably looking back through your notebook and find the sketch that you were drawing out of a globe and realize that image has taken more life than itself from when you had actually drawn it, to the point where it looks like the page is the map that you were looking at before. And as your hand brushes across it, the globe itself that you're looking at spins on the page.
The one that I drew.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
And am I able to find the spot on the map I drew that matches what Rarlson is looking at?
Yep. Yeah, you zoom. You remember from before that if you kind of take
Yeah.
your hands and pinch them together and spread them apart, you can see in the middle of Gargantium a fissure that's opened up that's calling itself the lava tower.
Okay, and what map? Okay, the Gargantium country, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And was that lava fissure there when I originally drew the map?
Yes, it's only just coming back to you now, though.
Okay. And does my map have any details that that Rarlson's does not?
Other than the fact that his is only of the area here. When you zoom in, you're able to see that the lava around the base of it has cooled to this point, and the tower has become more defined. Looks like it's being hewn out of the cooled magma, or lava rather, I guess.
So I'm having trouble imagining this. There's a huge crevice. Is the tower coming out of the crevice?
The tower is inside of the crevice, and it doesn't quite protrude all the way out.
Wait,
Okay,
I
so
know.
we'd be looking down at the top of the tower when we're looking in the crevice.
Yep.
Okay, and the base of the tower is cooled lava.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see the ground going from the edge of the crevice to the tower, or is it obscured in the red smoke that I'm seeing on the map?
It is relatively obscured. There is some forest around it as well that has been maintained that you do notice on the map. That's called the Spiral Wood Forest, and there are trees that all look like they're spiraling in one direction somehow.
Oh, and you said Veralton's map doesn't include the crevice. It's only of the immediate area of Socrates.
Mm.
He has a map of Socrates, but he also has a map that's similar to the one that you've probably got pulled up, which is the
Okay.
Tareth Glow one.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no. Would you have that? I don't think you would actually. As
I
well.
have-
I mean,
Map?
yeah, I don't remember ever
I don't-
distributing.
I don't remember ever getting a map.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Never mind then. You don't have that.
I have
so my
no
map-
idea where we are.
so
I
my
just
map
go
is the only
along
one
with
that
it.
connects the two locations.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to identify what's the difference in these maps and what information am I able to provide. Okay. So she's gonna lean over and show the map to the group. And is this
Nice.
more helpful?
Sure. Huh.
And she describes how she was able to get a glimpse of this on the a large table. She already discussed with the table with the group, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Upon getting here, at least with rural for sure.
Yeah.
How
I'm
how
wearing
it
that
appears to
table.
include the entire very unfamiliar world. So has this crevice always been here?
No idea. I'm not from here.
So is this
There
where
a
the
guy?
necromancer is in this tower?
Bet that makes sense.
Adune goes, I believe so. That's where it was a little hazy for me, as I didn't have eyes first and foremost, but I was also inside of a bottle during that time, so not much understanding of what was going on around me besides those that were coming back to my decks for safety.
So we need
And
to walk
telling me of their
towards
tales.
the fiery pits of pain and doom. Is that what I'm gathering? That we'll be traveling soon to here?
I think
Believe
so.
that's the case, yes.
Nice little vacation, maybe. And she's kind of doubting what she signed up for.
I believe when Shia was with us, she'd had more introspection on the issue because her teacher had told her it had something to do with the eurythmic veracity or something or other, and the timings, and she should have paid more attention in her studies or something, and that because they hadn't the first gates of hell were released from that point.
You hear in the back of your head, holy shit, that's it's right there. Oh, you guys are fucked.
What was that?
If I'm correct and I'm getting the impressions from your head correctly, I think you might be looking at a literal portal to hell.
Oh.
And if I know your opposition, they are racing there as quickly as they can.
Our opposition?
Yes.
That was
Who
the
would be opposing us?
I know
Uh,
he doesn't.
Yeah, actually, you weren't hearing that particular conversation out. It was happening inside of Moe's head. From what I
Oh.
understand.
Yeah. Mhm.
yes, the competition. As we've talked about before, the gods have forced people to fight each other. You are up against another team of individuals, much like yourselves. At least as far as I understand, they are currently working their way up from the bottom portions of hell and are attempting to escape. One of them has the capacity and desire to kill everyone on the planet. And they are
Our little
on the way.
band is what's
Yes.
to stand in front of this.
Yeah, you guys, the good campaign, if I'm being honest, is kind of just fucked around for a while. While the evil campaign guys have been pretty hard at work at bettering themselves. Really makes it's really easier when you're willing to level out an entire city's worth of people in order to power level. But yep, they're on their way. They know about
Why
you
must we fight?
because the gods say so. And you hear derision in my voice.
And what happens if we don't?
I don't know. Maybe you can talk to them and come up with a third option.
This all seems rather dramatic, if you ask me.
Yes, it is a game.
Well, it sounds like we need to go shopping tomorrow.
Yes, shopping.
We need some better gear.
You do need some better gear.
At that point, too, the sun has gone completely over the horizon, and the second moon of Tarth is rising. So,
And it's
And-
We all.
and
yeah,
there's
I figure everyone's starting to yawn.
exactly, and there's some bumping lights and such coming from the city, with a bit of a vibe.
The party never ends.
Nimue gladly
Good
goes to
session.
sleep. She is not a party goer. At least not of that type. Maybe if there's some violins involved.
I mean, I don't know if this is the court for that, but
Yeah, this particular court is made of orcs, who are very much into the party lifestyle, especially Queen Fida, who is
She's
I've
dark.
labeled Party Queen Fida
Fantastic.
in my notes. But yeah, she's a
Alright.
wild one.
sweet. Oh man, the pressure is on, Franklin. I gotta get Franklin to convince these fuckheads to get out fast before we close the portal. Oh God.
So wait, the portal is this fissure, and the good campaign is trying to close it.
That was
Whoa.
originally the plan way back when, but then the PNC's just been setting up shop in the meantime, because when they went to go fight the big bad, instead they were fighting them, and they're like, we aren't gonna win, guys. We just need to come up with a better plan. So they just convinced them that they were part of their group, and
Wait, PNC?
yeah, and said that their
Okay,
name was the
you're using a
Wisp
lot of
faction.
days, and I don't know who all of these days are.
I apologize. So the Rum Rollers
Uh-huh.
were facing off against Ashuma, the big bad, and he had just been summoned into the world after who knows how long not being in this world.
And
And
Ashima is a god?
yes, the first level of Hell's god. Going back to that map. So, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was the Lost, is what it says. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So somehow a god from a level of hell got into the good campaign from the bad campaign?
Not some. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. And
Pretty
when
sure the group opened the portal.
yeah,
Nah.
the evil campaign opened the portal to hell. That's how
Yeah.
that happened. Then they got stuck in hell.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we've been digging our way out. Though I was not with the group when they went in,
Mhm.
which made sense.
And why did they open the portal?
So the evil campaign was kind of a brainchild from the idea that I had other people that wanted to play that uh, just kind of wanted like another setting, and it seemed like the other crew was leaning towards, in general, the neutral to good, and they just kind of wanted to, be murder hobos in some regards, which I was like, okay, I can get behind that. So I came up with the idea of an evil campaign where you would have evil characters that just
Mhm.
do evil things. And they started off in the labyrinth because I was for sure not setting a whole group of fucking evil people in the middle of a city to burn it down.
Mhm.
Which is what happened later when he did put us in a city for the
Yeah.
first time.
Very first time, immediately, exactly as I
Allegedly,
expected.
allegedly.
So wait,
Allegedly.
so you said you put them in purgatory?
Well, so they were in the labyrinth, and I gave them the option to go to hell. And
Is
of
the
course,
labyrinth purgatory?
the labyrinth was its own separate thing that I was hoping that maybe they would resolve some of their immediate issues of being terrible to each other and themselves, but they didn't. So they just dug their
Did
way
they
deeper.
found a way to? That's amazing. Life finds a way.
It
And how did
does.
the portal open?
So
'Cause if they're going deeper, how do they open a portal going back up?
there's quite a lot that goes into that question. So the very first thing to note is that they were in the labyrinth, right? They'd kind of taken out the directions that they could figure out in the labyrinth, thought, fuck it, let's go to hell when they found that door. And even though I told them, you probably don't want to go down that door, so I had to come up with kind of like an intermediary, like, stopgap when they went through the door, which was purgatory, because, yeah, in between those two layers and everything. So then while I was building that area out, they went through a little bit of purgatory and then snuck into hell through a back door in purgatory, but at the same time, the gates of hell had been given a chance to open with them one opening the back door and first opening the the gates, the original gates of hell down into purgatory. So the first level of hell was easily broken upon breaking those seals. And they wriggled their way through the shadow realm, which is the back door into through past the first level of hell and into a true in between space that was run by a demon who they were like, how the fuck do we get out of here? And he's like, well, I don't know. You have to pay the price, I guess. And they found another bar that was connected to his in between space, and they killed a random guy that was just hanging out there. He wasn't even being that annoying. That's what I remember. He was
Okay,
just
so they accidentally opened up the big fissure. Basically, too many doors to hell were open, and so like some pressure. I'm imagining like a pressure or like a leakage, and it just burst open or something.
kinda, yeah, I guess, yeah. You could say it like that. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Is there? Don't tell me if like what it is, but is there some other reasoning deeper that our characters just can't know yet?
No, I mean that's most the mostly the reasoning behind why that first level had happened as well. I guess the deeper one, to answer your question, yes, there's always another meaning to everything.
Okay.
Wow.
See, the meaning of life is this: a dumbass met another dumbass, who met another dumbass, and they became the dumbass trio.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so
All
if
right.
this big fissure opened, why didn't the evil campaign just turn around and go out the fissure? Go back through the first level of hell.
They
to this
didn't
big
know that
Oh.
that gate had been opened because they went in through the back door, right?
Okay. So they've just been going deeper and deeper, all the while this huge ass portal is open.
Kinda. As well as that um the once you're into a certain depth, you can't go through the other ones without opening their seals as well.
But they came from those, didn't they?
No.
Somehow we skipped from 1 to like 5 or 6 or something like that, and have been
Yeah.
slowly working our way back up.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Some I don't know how, but somehow we were on like level 6 or 5, and trying to get
Okay.
back up and out.
I see.
Currently, we're on 3, I think.
4.
4,
3 is already open.
right? And we've got a very limited amount of time to get out because
Wow.
of our good campaign. So my plan is, in the evil campaign, we have an item that is essentially a gate to each level of hell if you roll a high enough arcana to
A
unlock
key.
it.
A
A
key.
key.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we can unlock level 1 and just go to level 1, we can just leave. But we need smart people in the to be like
Okay.
playing at the right time.
And they're
Yep.
trying to get out before the good campaign closes the portal.
Yeah, I mean, we can try to probably reopen it eventually, but if we continue at the pace we're going by unlocking like the different levels of hell,
Mm.
like they will have closed the gate and have a permanent guard on file. It will be much easier for the evil campaign if we can get up and either take over the PNC or just get out
Okay,
and then
sorry, what's
start
the
doing our
PNC
own
again?
thing. Professional necromancy cult. They apparently worked on level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, and that's the tower that you can see when you look down.
Yep.
Okay.
Full circle.
Okay, thank you. Starting to piece together how the world physically is. Hopefully
Yeah.
I remember all this in 2 weeks.
Yeah. If you don't, it's okay.
Okay.
It took me like 4 years to get to this point, so.
Right.
When he created the place.
I got a lot of
I
catching
think
up
it's
to
more
do.
of a garden situation.
Grew up.
Okay, well, I do have to head off to bed. It's past my bedtime in real life.
Yep.
So see
Good
you guys next
night.
week.
Good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.
A grand and wonderful thank you for those who took the time and made it here, to the end of the episode, where I know sometimes we are long-winded and others we are just dead silent. I don't know what to tell you. This is raw here, folks. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you can help support us just by listening. But you can also provide even more support, if you like, by going to Anchor FM page and following the support link there. If you do so, I will personally work in an NPC or an idea, whatever you'd like to hear played out. If you want, you can get a hold of us through one of our many options, including voice messages on Anchor FM, or DM to our Twitter, or any other social media that you can find us, YouTube, etc. You can share your ideas, otherwise listen for the shout out and thank you for making it through.